14 kilograms of oranges and some orange peel. Let's make some brandy. Now this recipe is not gonna be a full fruit recipe. The reason for that is, number one, if you were going to make this out of only fruit, you were gonna need 355 oranges that will produce the amount of juice that you need to ferment. Now, an average orange contains about 10 grams of sugar per 100 grams of flesh, and every 100 grams of flesh only produces 70 mils of liquid. So you can go and do the math on how many you need, but for me, for my recipe, to get to that mark where I feel comfortable to have enough of the orange flavor pull through, I'm only going to be using 14 kilograms of oranges. So step one is to get the zest of the lemon. So that is only the skin of the lemon that you need. Now don't worry about getting the little white stuff at the bottom for this recipe, because we're not going to leave it in the fermenter. We're just going to extract some of that flavor in a process in about 4 steps. So yeah, step one, get a whole bunch of the zest from your oranges. With 14 kilograms of the oranges now peeled, and we have all the peels in this little bucket here, what we're going to do next is extract some more of that flavor, so to up the orange flavor in the final product. So with the orange peels in the bucket, it's time to add some nice and hot water. So this is just boiling hot water straight from the kettle into the orange peels. With the orange peels and the hot water in the bucket, it's time to start with step number 2. We're now going to juice the oranges, but we're not going to juice it into this bucket here. We're going to juice it into another bucket while this sits and steeps in that nice hot water up until we finish juicing the oranges. With 14 kilograms of oranges hand squeezed into this bucket, we now have a little bit of pulp left that we need to drain the juice from. So let's quickly squeeze out the last little bit of juice out of this pulp and then see how much juice we got. With just under 5 liters of juice in the bucket, it's time we head back to those orange skins and extract that last little bit of orange flavors from them before we get that juice into this bucket. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to take the drill quickly and just blitz it in here, just to see if we can squeeze out some more of that nice orange flavor from those orange peels. Next up, time to get our hands dirty again and take all of these orange peels and squeeze them to drain as much of that liquid out of it as possible. Now we're going to top up the bucket to about 15 liters. We're going to do a gravity reading to see how much sugar we need to add to this recipe so we can get to a good gravity where we can actually distill it. So we are going to be aiming for about 8 to 10% ABV in the final product, with a gravity reading of roughly 1.012. That means we're going to get very little alcohol out of this wash if we just pitch yeast like it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 3 kilograms of sugar into this and then top it up with water, mix it all up so we can get that sugar dissolved, sitting comfortably at a 1.072. This should give us enough alcohol in the wash so we can actually distill a pretty good product. So the yeast we'll be using today is the Icon Distiller's yeast. We're going to be pitching 1 gram of yeast per liter. This being a 20 liter wash, we're going to pitch 20 grams. With all the ingredients in the bucket and everything mixed together and the yeast pitched, it's time to put a lid on this bucket and get this thing fermenting. Now, if you stuck around this far, I would like to thank you very much. Remember to hit that subscribe button down in the corner there. ring the little bell icon so you get notified the moment we upload new content, so you don't miss when we distill this wash in part 2 of this recipe. Now let's quickly sanitize our lid, get the lid on, and then get it fermenting.